Good morning. My name is Malinda Villalobos. I'm the proud principal of the Isleta Young Women's Leadership Academy. We are concluding our second year as being the first all-girl public school to open in West Texas. So we're a single-gender public school with a private partnership with the Young Women's Preparatory Network out of Dallas. The premise behind the Young Women's Leadership Academy started about 15 years ago in the Dallas area, in the Metroplex, with Lee and Sally Posey, who mimicked and visited a school in Queens in New York, of the first single-gender all-girls school to open up. And the dream was, why can't girls in Texas have the same opportunity? And so Lee and Sally partnered with the Dallas Independent School District and opened the first all-girl, single-gender 612 public school in Dallas ISD called the Irma Rangel School. And since the opening of that school, the Young Women's Leadership Academy here in Isleta is the 8th sister school to open across the state of Texas. The belief and the premise behind this type of school is to provide children a private-like education in a public school setting. So you're not paying for all of those benefits of that private-like setting, but you're also in single gender. And so as we opened up, our strong partnership with the Young Women's Preparatory Network provided us, through our MOU, $1 million worth of enhancement funds to help sustain us over the first 3, 4, 5 years. And the purpose of the enhancement funds is to help fund things that typically are not funded by public school districts due to lack of funding. And so there's a lot of philanthropy work that goes into what we do with outside funders and providers that provide us what we have here. We opened in the 2016-2017 school year here in El Paso, and we started with grades 6 and 7 with about 227 girls. So respectively, about equal amounts between the two different grade levels. The focus here is on college prep. And so the end result is our girls are not only college ready academically, but they're also college ready for life, because there's more to going to college and university than just having the academics in your back pocket. And so our girls come in a very robust college-like environment. All of our core coursework is pre-advanced placement, and we start that early with our girls because it's like running a marathon. You cannot go out and sign up for a marathon after 3 months of training. You have to have sustainable training and years behind you so you're ready for that marathon. And that's the purpose of what we're doing here. So our core coursework, English, math, science, and social studies, is all pre-advanced placement in the middle school. When we move to high school, which we're opening our high school next school year with our girls, we still transition into some coursework that is pre-AP, but the rest transitions to AP, which is connected to the College Board, which allows our girls to take College Board exams, which are nationally normed, to not only earn that College Board recognition, but also earn college credit, starting with those AP exams in high school. We have a very strong focus on STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So on a development stage, we know STEM is a big buzzword, and STEM is everywhere, but what is STEM? But we also know that our girls love to have outlets, love to have other things that they're passionate about. And so the arts here at our school is very, very robust. We have some very fine teachers that allow outlets and opportunities for our girls to really do self-expression, whether that be through a typical art class, theater arts, doing art performances, pantomime. We have a growing orchestra program here. We also do world percussion, and so our girls study music from around the world through the lens of a percussionist. And so you'll often see them doing African drumming from around the world. And so they learn a language, they learn a music, and that's really anchoring of what we do here. In our high school course, for high school, we will also have modern dance. So girls will be allowed to be in dance performance classes as well. We have 3 core values here at our school, and that is responsible leadership, health and wellness, and college and career readiness. And so when we think about those 3 pillars, I think we can think that creates a well-rounded person. And we believe for young girls, so often modeled for them at home, modeled just around when you look around is they see their mothers, their grandmothers, their great grandmothers that are often the backbones of their family and probably don't have much balance at all in their lives around how do I take care of myself, because I'm always taking care of other people. And so that health and wellness piece is really, really important here for us because we believe girls need to be eating healthy. We need to model health for them. They need to be physically active, and we want them to push and challenge themselves in ways maybe they never would have before. So the beauty of what we're able to do here with that is just, it's incredible to see girls in that wellness environment doing physical activity that maybe they never would have been picked for a team to do or even let themselves go do it. The responsible leadership piece is about building leadership in young girls. And we recognize there's hints of leadership in our girls starting in 6th grade. Our girls are 10 and 11 when they start in 6th grade. And so there's hints and need of development of leadership. But that's a skill that over time you develop. It isn't instantaneously within you. And so we do a lot of coaching and modeling of leadership and helping girls toggle between that self-responsibility, which is also around leadership, but how do you give back? Because leadership is also about giving back. And so we do a lot of activities with our girls where they not only give back here to our local community where our school is located, so our neighborhood right here, but give across the city with different activities that they choose to be involved in. The other piece is college and career readiness, and that's a big, heavy anchor in most schools because we know children must be college and career, and we add the life component piece in there too. So we focus a lot on our 21st century learning skills and how do those couple also with our STEM skills that are necessary for an ever-changing world that our girls are going to be entering in 6 or 7 years while entering into university work, but also probably needing to hold down a part-time job, or when they transition out of college, what does that transfer into? And so long gone is the notion that you can work in isolation. Long gone is that you don't have to have partners, partner with you. And so we are constantly challenging girls with time, with partnership, group diversity, mixing groups up so that they learn to work with different personalities. They learn how to compromise. They learn that if my idea isn't, the one that's chosen, it's okay. We can run with the other idea and make it work. But there's a lot of methodical thinking behind what we do. And I think most importantly for our girls is a lot of metacognition. So thinking about their learning, reflecting on their learning, providing self-feedback about their learning, and being open to peers providing feedback in their learning journey. So those are some anchoring pieces that we have here at our school. The premise of our school is that over the next 6 years or so, we will be grades 6 through 12. As we onboarded only 6th and 7th graders the first year, we currently have 6th, 7th, and 8th graders getting ready to transition to next school year, 2018-2019, with a new 6th grade group coming in and our 8th grade girls now transitioning to high school with us. So when you think about a dream program, I think for any student, for girls especially here in El Paso, starting in 6th grade is a pivotal part because that's typically where middle school begins for most children, but carrying you all the way through high school. The statistics from our sister schools are absolutely incredible. And so through the Young Women's Preparatory Network, from every one of our graduating classes at our sister schools, 100% of our girls are accepted into the college or university of their choice. And on average, every student has about $141,000 in merit scholarship alone. And so that is, for us, proof in the pudding that this type of program and structure works when you have the laser focus, the myopic focus on what you're really wanting to do and develop. And in doing that, we know we're not only developing girls, but we're developing families because this is new for many, many, many people. We're developing adults here at our school. So for, I would say 99% of our faculty here, this is the first time they've ever worked in a single gender. It's the first time they've ever worked in a college prep where the focus is really the focus. And we don't just say we do college prep, but we really don't. And so the challenges, I think, hit all of us, but the benefits collectively are that we come together as a large group, as a large family, and we're all focused on the same goal and the same achievement at the end of this marathon. So we're super excited about what our girls are doing. We often have local speakers, local people from our community that have a story to tell, that look like many of our girls, come from the same type of background of many of our girls. And so there's a correlation of whether you're first generation to go to college or not, this is possible. And it's up to you, because the journey, the road is there, the map is laid out, but what are you willing to do to get there? And so when we are helping our girls get through, we're also helping families get through, because for over 50% of our families, this is the first time college has really entered their home and the possibility of going to college. And so making sure that our girls can navigate, that they have choice. I think it's super, super important for children to have choice with relationship to, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? And we're prepping girls right now for a lot of the work in the future that's not even defined yet. And so how do you work with the unknown, which is very uncomfortable often, because we don't know what the workforce and what the need is going to be in 10 years. We can kind of project and look at trends, but we know for sure there's going to be an anchoring piece in technology. We know for sure an anchoring piece in math and science. We know you have to be able to communicate, and not just from behind a screen, but you must be able to get in front of people and make connections and network. And so those are those life skill pieces that we challenge our girls with every day. We are open to doing anything at our school that our girls want to do, but our girls have to be in the driver's seat. The adults are not in the driver's seat.
How did you get interested in this?
Okay, so interesting enough, I've been in education 24, 25 years. And so I've worked at every age grouping. So I've worked at the elementary, I've worked at the middle school, I've worked at the high school. And I was principal here in Ysleta at Eastwood Middle School for 10 years, and took that school from a transition year where the school was torn down. We were at 5 separate campuses running school, trying to make it all happen, and we did make it happen. What an incredible team. And the notion of this type of school really started with the brainstorming of our superintendent, Dr. De La Torre. He had visited the Irma Rangel School in Dallas and knew for El Paso, this is what would be highly innovative. You do not have a single gender public school when we were starting across this entire city. So that means whether you can pay for private school for your daughter to go to just a few schools that we have here in our city. Usually those are faith-based types of schools. And so sometimes that fits families and sometimes it doesn't. And so looking at the opportunity to allow every girl interested across this entire city that would be interested in single gender, interested in college prep, interested in STEAM, to come to this type of school. So that's where this started. So then we started the brainstorming and the networking with Lynn McBee, who is the CEO of our Young Women's Preparatory Network. So Lynn made several visits here to Ysleta, spent a lot of time with us. And this wasn't just about us saying, we want to do that. We want to do the single gender school. This was also about the Young Women's Preparatory Network, making sure we were the right match. And so making sure we were the match in our district. So we had the fidelity of programs, and we had the history and the data behind what we've done historically in our district. That we had the leadership that could see this through. We had the support of board members to see this through. And that we had the right leadership to start and to bring this from just a dream and a blank canvas to what it is today. And so Dr. De La Torre asked me if I would be interested in doing this, and how do you turn down such an opportunity? And so the innovation of starting this is also about growing yourself. And so doing traditional and having traditional schools, you can do innovative things, but the tradition is the tradition. So we all know what co-ed education looks like. But how do you take single gender, how do you take girls and really transform them over time so that you can meet that end goal at the end? So I often talk about us being about 18 to 20 months old right now. And so when you think of that in real human years, you're still talking about a young baby toddler, right? And so that's sometimes what this feels like, because you're learning, you're growing, you're bringing in new girls every year, you're hiring new faculty and staff every year. And so as you add to this family, you also have to shift and change and grow with what those people bring on board with you. And so this is an ever-changing organization, I would say. We are constantly building in flight. We are definitely flying, but we have parts that we're still onboarding and we're developing and we're molding and we're creating and we're testing. And so as we are building this fine machine here that we're creating for our girls, there's stretch zones. And so our girls are stretched, our adults are stretched. The beauty and I think the big success behind our school is just the unwavering belief and support from the onset of this dream to where we are today of what does the Young Women's Leadership Academy need. And so we have a great infrastructure within our district to support us. Our board members believe in what we're doing. Our superintendent believes in what we're doing. Our cabinet at central office believes in what we're doing. And so when you have a team behind you, knowing as you're running this marathon, they're there with you, that's what helps us be so successful.